Hi, this is Taryn Grome, editor of Pharma Voice. We met with numerous inspirational thought leaders at this year's DIA annual conference as part of our Editors Take video series. I hope you enjoy this discussion.
In this episode, we meet with Bill Cooney, President and CEO, MedPoint Digital, Inc. In what sense are study subjects becoming digital?
Well, in the broadest sense, we're all becoming tremendously more digital in so many ways. It's happened subtly over a long time, but especially when it comes to our mobile devices. Not only are we all more digital, but when you look at younger people in developed countries, these kinds of mobile devices tend to be constantly in their presence and really tends to drive all of their behaviors. So I think it's very useful to think about how we're becoming more digital for the purpose of clinical research, to first look at the consumer markets where all the innovation is happening and where things like Facebook and Twitter and Google and even fitness bands are really changing the way people live and their habits and their behaviors. And then if we go next and take a look at clinical medicine, regular healthcare, we see all sorts of interesting things happening at the major healthcare providers like Humana and Partners Healthcare and Aetna, where they're discovering that mobile devices and apps are really making a difference in the management of people's healthcare. So there's a tremendous amount of use right now, especially in some primary care disease states. There is a whole segment of innovators and entrepreneurs out there who are building new kinds of apps and new kinds of biometric devices. And these are being used and they're being proven to work in clinical medicine right now. So I think as clinical research professionals, we should be paying attention to those trends, because those trends are going to inform what we're going to do next.
How is the digital patient affecting clinical research?
Well, first of all, as patients and consumers change their behaviors, they're just coming to expect things to be different in their lives. So we have patients at some major healthcare providers, let's say they have type 2 diabetes, and they're being given an app to manage their type 2 diabetes. And it's being widely adopted, and I think we're only a few years away from really large portions of some of our patient populations sort of expecting to use apps and mobile devices to manage their diseases. So in clinical research, what are we going to do if we have one of those patients enter our trials, where we're going to perhaps double the demands we place on them? And they're used to managing that disease state using an app. Are we not going to provide them an app? I think we have to realize we almost have to. And then there's, of course, tremendous amounts of innovation that's going to happen with biometric devices and the use of the cloud, the use of electronic medical records. All these things are converging in consumer and healthcare segments to change how people manage their health. And we just have to be prepared for that and realize it's coming very soon.
How can companies prepare for this?
I think it begins with realizing this is inevitable. Secondly, paying very close attention to what's happening out there. We tend to be in our own world here in clinical research, and I don't think we're paying attention to some of the exciting things that are happening right underneath our eyes, and that will inevitably affect us. And then third, we need to get going. We need to start using apps. We need to start having pilot programs, not just with the use of apps to let patients manage their health care, but the use of virtual trial designs that allow patients to participate in trials via digital channels, via remotely. So some very exciting things that are really going to improve clinical research but change our paradigm. And then there's the whole world of all those biometric devices and all of that data on things as simple as location and movement and fitness, and the movement of those data sets into these very powerful cloud environments with analytics. So much is coming our way, so much to prepare for, that we need to start taking the practical small steps now. We need to begin in modest ways to incorporate these technologies into our trials now, or we're not going to be ready when it hits us in a few years.
For more information on this topic, visit our Thought Leaders website.
For more Editors Take videos from the 2015 DIA Annual Conference, Visit www.pharmavoice.com. Thanks for joining us.